Hi there, this is Callan Bentley. Welcome back for another smart figure. After watching this video, you should be able to describe the major kinds of igneous textures, and you should say what they mean about the history of the igneous rocks in question. So take a look at these four samples of igneous rock. You'll notice that they have some differences, but they also have some similarities. The difference that probably jumps out at your eye immediately is that they are different colors. Those different colors are reflective of the different minerals that are present in these different rocks. But what they have in common is that all four samples here have about the same size of crystals making up the rock. They all have the same texture. There are a bunch of different kinds of igneous textures, some of which form below ground in intrusive igneous environments, and others that are distinctly volcanic that are produced in extrusive igneous environments. Let's examine a few of them. There's glassy, porphyritic, phaneritic, vesicular, pyroclastic, and aphanitic. The basic breakdown is the difference between aphanitic and phaneritic. Aphanitic textures are very fine-grained, meaning that you can't see the individual mineral crystals with the naked eye. You need some sort of microscope. Whereas phaneritic igneous textures are typical of intrusive igneous rocks. They have very big crystals that are readily visible to the naked eye. So aphanitic basically means small crystals, and that's typical of volcanic rocks, and phaneritic means big crystals, typical of plutonic rocks. Other volcanic textures include vesicular, which basically has little tiny gas bubbles. These gas bubbles formed when the lava decompressed upon eruption, and it produced bubbles just like when you open a can of soda. That soda degasses carbon dioxide, but in this case the lava set up and solidified around those bubbles before they had a chance to pop. Another distinctly volcanic texture is the glassy texture. This is what happens when you have a very dry lava or when you have a lava that is cooled very, very rapidly. It ends up not having the ability to form mineral crystals, and so you get glass instead. Two other volcanic textures are here, a frothy volcanic texture and a pyroclastic texture. The frothy volcanic texture is basically lots of little vesicles. It's typical of the rock called pumice. The pyroclastic volcanic texture has chunks of other rocks in it, and these chunks of other rocks are basically the signature of a violent volcanic eruption. So it's been broken by fire, or pyroclastic. There are also textures that are indicative of intrusive conditions. So a porphyritic texture is characterized by two distinct crystal size classes, very big phenocrysts, which are set in a very fine-grained ground mass. And that's what happens when you have two stages of cooling. One slow underground, and then that's followed by a more rapid phase of cooling. You can also have a pegmatitic texture. Pegmatites have very, very large crystals. You can see here, compared to a quarter for scale, that the crystals are greater than 2 centimeters across. And so that's an indication that this igneous rock formed from a very, very wet magma. The water in the magma helped ferry around the different elements so that really, really large crystals could grow. So let's go ahead and test you here. We've got this diagram from the textbook. Let's go ahead and throw the pegmatite in there as well. Tell me, which environment, extrusive or intrusive, has the greater number of textures that are possible? Hopefully you said that extrusive is the more diverse textural realm. As we see, there are a whole bunch of textures here that can form in extrusive or volcanic environments. In the diagram, we actually only have one intrusive texture, the phaneritic texture, recorded, and then we added in the pegmatite as well. But aphanitic, pyroclastic, frothy, glassy, and porphyritic are all typical of extrusive environments. This has been another Smart Figure. Thank you very much for your attention.